We have the freedom because of the service of veterans throughout the generations in America that served, died, some of them gave it all, so that we could gather together and do these kind of things. It was a great exercise in watching Freedom today. We had a good turnout, we had great food, we had a lot of volunteers down. If you were a volunteer down at Flat National Day, raise your hand, don't be bashful. These guys were down there serving, Dave was down there, we appreciate that very much. Okay, without further ado, I would like to introduce our honored guest here in the front, beginning with the only living Medal of Honor recipient in the state of Missouri, our friend, the national treasure, Doc Ballard, Donald E. Ballard. Mike Ballard. Let's give him a hand. You guys remember there was a petition in the community to get the last World War II Medal of Honor recipient a state funeral, just like the president gets. I bet everybody in here signed it. Doc is on the national board. The distinguished gentleman sitting next to him, Mr. Joe Podorski, is on our state board, and he is a World War II veteran. Please give him a warm welcome. Joe traveled a long distance to be here with us today. I'm very grateful for Joe to be here and for his service on our board. We have 4 other World War II veterans, and unfortunately, due to their health, they have not been able to come tonight. You know, we got 9 World War II veterans left in Dent County. And in a county with 1,533 veterans, the county tells you the page is turning on that generation. So we're very grateful for their contribution, and we believe that they are worthy and deserving of that honor in recognition of 16 million Americans that served as the greatest generation and gave us the opportunity to be Americans. So next in line is our presiding commissioner, Darrell Skiles. Thank you, Darrell, for being here. Mayor Brad, thank you so much for taking time. These gentlemen on down the road here are local veterans. Bill Stack, who is also an American volunteer, worked hard down there today. Bill. The gentleman that you see in the uniform down there is really not that old. Leo Hobson is a combat veteran, 82nd Airborne, served his country extensively. He's a great guy, a patriot, and a great American. I'd like y'all to give Leo a hand. I love you guys. And the man with the best looking shirt in the house, excuse me, Mike, I know you thought you had it. Yeah. Ed Carmack, longtime businessman. I've never been to Ed since I've been a veterans advocate, which is pretty close to 20 years here locally, and asked him to help me with something for the veterans and got a refusal. Ed has always been there for the local veterans. I want to recognize you for that, Ed, and thank you very much for your contribution. Let's give it. Okay, over here, we'll start off with this rascal right here, my old friend. We grew up on the same street together, about a block and a half apart. Dave Page, he left here, he served in Vietnam, and I won't guess what you did, you were combat. Yes. CIB, I know he wears one, and Dave is a recipient of 2 awards with the Purple Heart.
One Purple Heart, two Bronze Stars.
Here, would you say that?
well, one Purple Heart's enough. I only got 1 Purple Heart, but I did get 2 Bronze Stars and be nice on.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
And one other thing, real quick. I sat down today enjoying myself and enjoying this veterans, a bunch of veterans running around. I sat there thinking, here I am 50 years later, enjoying myself today. And 50 years ago, give or take, a lot of guys, 19, 20, 21, don't have the same really center like I have today, the left over Vietnam. So it's hard to think about stuff like that when you're having a great time and think back what happened 50 years ago with a bunch of your friends. Anyway, you know what it's like, so it's not.
That's on This Willie Acres, my lifelong friend, my best friend. Willie, would you introduce yourself? Say something about yourself.
My name's Willie Akers. I'm born in Salem at the Heart Clinic. So I guess I am a local resident. And I went to Vietnam and I made it home. And I'm trying to say that a lot of people that I met in all the places I've been, Salem, in this area, it's like the best of the best. And I try to really serve for it. Thanks.
Good evening, my name is Neil McElligott. I am not from Salem. I reside in Fredericktown currently. I work for the VA. I am a combat veteran now. Currently still serving in the Army Reserve as an officer. First joined in 1983 and seen a lot through my years through the military. We were just discussing here that we're happy that we never got into a situation like that to even come close to getting in the war like that. The American volunteers that are around here, it's just amazing where I come from. The people just don't realize what the veterans do. Coming into an area, especially Dade County here, Dade County is homegrown veteran support. And you guys are great, really. You really make me proud to be a veteran and make me proud to be an American when I come into Dade County. So I just thank you all for inviting me tonight, Richard. And just thanks again for adopting my
Dennis Bowman. I served from May 73 to May 75. I was an officer in the AIT in El Paso, Texas, in the Air Defense Artillery. So I was one of the luckier ones. I guess I didn't have to go overseas. I've always enjoyed I really enjoyed being in the Army. And many times I've regretted it to this day.
Ballard from St. James, Missouri. I served in the Navy 1966 through 1970. I got the privilege of sailing on them big flat top boats. Very exciting time. Some of them not so good.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Duffy. I served in the United States Army for 20 years, 4 months, 14 days. I'm a 3-time combat veteran. I'm a Desert Storm veteran, Afghanistan veteran, and an Operation Iraqi Field veteran. I just want to say, it's very humbling being here and sitting in a room with all these gentlemen that gave away prior for me and my family. I'm the 5th combat generation, and my family alone, all it dated back to World War I. So I'm sorry, I'm so emotional. My job in the Army is being a leader. I started as a first sergeant in the States Army, but I served in the 82nd Airborne as well. Thank you, sir. It's an honor. And I also went to school with the 104th Air Assault. I have a combat action badge and I'm a Bronze Star recipient as well. So that's one thing. It's very humbling. Thank you all for letting me know about this event in here. God bless you all. Thank you.
You're about to raise your hand. Raise your hand. You know, like, well, I didn't got all of that. No, if you raised, if you went, turned on, got on the discharge, all of us went, we did what we were told, we went where we were told, and we did the job that needed to be done, so I'm grateful for everybody that served. Before we give Dr. the floor to Mike, and he's going to speak to us a little bit. First, we'd like to do an award ceremony. And I'd like to call on Mayor Brad Nash to come forward.
First of all, I want to thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you for the opportunity to allow me to be here. This is such a special event and near and dear to my heart. I never was in the military, but I definitely honor the ones that have been and that have fought for me and my freedom. I just wanted to say thank you for that. And, while we're here, I'd like to present a proclamation from my office to the city of Salem, and I'll read that really quick. A proclamation honoring Donald E. Doc Ballard for being the only living Medal of Honor recipient in Missouri for his conspicuous gallantry and thank you very much, intrepidity, at the risk of his life and beyond the call of duty while serving as a hospital corpsman with Company M in connection with operations against enemy aggressor forces. Whereas Donald E. Doc Ballard joined the U.S. Navy as a hospital corpsman with the Marine Corps in 1970 and later joined Kansas National Guard. And whereas in 1967 he was sent to Vietnam. And whereas on May 16, 1968, Ballard's Rifle Company was attacked by a unit of North Vietnamese Army soldiers. While under enemy fire, Ballard was attending Wounded Marine when an enemy grenade landed near the wounded Marine. 4 other Marines and himself. He immediately covered the grenade with his body to shield the 5 Marines from the blast. Realizing that the grenade failed to explode, he quickly threw it out of harm's way as it exploded, saving the wounded Marine from further harm or death, and the other 4 Marines and himself from harm or death. And whereas the citizens of Salem and Dent County wish to express their sincere thanks to Donald Ballard for his gallantry and integrity at the risk of his life and beyond the call of duty. Now whereas I, Brad Nash, Mayor of Salem, Missouri, and the Board of Aldermen of Salem, Missouri, wish to honor Donald E. Ballard, in witness whereof I hereunto set my hand this first day of September in the year of our Lord 2018, adopted this day, September 2018.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Next is our presiding commissioner, Darrell Kyle.
Thank you, Richard. I too would like to express my appreciation, Richard, for the invitation to be here on this day. And Mr. Ballard, it is a distinct honor and privilege to be here and meet you here today. Watching that, as Richard said earlier, that watching that film clip that we just seen really brings chills, I think, to everybody. And I too, as the mayor said, want to really express my appreciation to all of our veterans that have served our country and the reason why we're able to enjoy the freedoms that we have. It is my distinct honor on behalf of the Dent County Commission to present a plaque to Mr. Ballard. The plaque reads, the Dent County Commission on this day, September 1, 2018, welcomes United States Medal of Honor recipient Donald E. Doc Ballard to Dent County. On behalf of the citizens of Dent County, we express our heartfelt gratitude and appreciation for your heroic service to our country. Presiding Commissioner Darrell Stiles, Associate Commissioner Dennis Purcell, Associate Commissioner Gary Larson. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is that all the business we got?
No, we have another presentation.
We do have another award. Would you step up here, please?
Yes.
We have one more award we need to make, I believe.
Yes.
You'll stand here. Dave Page, front and center. David Page, front and center. We have an award. Well, it's not for Doc, it's for you. You gotta get it. We can't give it if you don't get it. No, he's gonna bring it over here, Doc. Stand right here. You and he can, It's heavier than yours, Doc. We wanted to really appreciate Dave, and he's been our keystone veteran in our community. Step around that way. There you go. There you go. And so, in honor of your service to our community and your veterancy, we hereby present this award from all of your friends here in Dade County. Duty unto.
Dave, our brother-in-law, Carolina, Johnny Cook, made this frame for you. It thought it fit your basement really, really well. It's made out of barn wood. He brought that in one day, and lo and behold, I set it behind the old water fountain under the stairs. And I saw your truck pull up, and I thought, oh no, this is going to be a surprise. I can get that thing covered. So I goes upstairs and happen to find this, whatever this is we got over it. It's been on there ever since. But you just about let the cat out of the bag. So we're gonna unveil it now and present it to you, Dave. And listen, I know this guy better than anybody in Dade County knows. And this guy is the real deal. He is a true patriot. He makes us all proud, and I feel terribly humble as a veteran to stand before somebody like Dave Page going through what he's going through. So, Dave, we love you. We thank you.
We all done what we can do, man.
Well, Doc's real happy to be a part of giving this to you, Dave.
Young Dave Page.
Yeah, look, it's a little different there, for sure.
See if you see any change.
All right, we're glad to have you.
So that's making sure he gets dropped behind. Thanks, guys. Honest to goodness, I don't deserve this. Like everybody in the room, we do what we had to do. And like someone said, with what we asked to do, we did. We did the best of our ability, and thank God we made it home. So I appreciate this very, very much. Goodness sakes alive. I don't deserve it. Again, thank you all.
I'm going to
I'm going to turn over the mic to Doc right now. I'd like for him to speak a few words, whatever it is he'd like to say. I can tell you that this much, I've had the privilege of spending some time with Doc. I was honored earlier this year to be able to walk the floor of the National Convention of the VFW with Doc. And I don't know anybody we met that don't know him. And everybody had something good to say about it, which was no surprise. But what I love most about Doc, we all have our way of dealing with things in our lives, and he likes to deal with PTSD with humor, and that says a lot for the man. So, ladies and gentlemen, Doc Ballard.
I am standing up. I used to be a stand-up comedian before they told me to sit down. So. Yeah, Richard was right. All of us experience different things, different challenges while we serve this great country, especially in combat. So we all deal with our challenges different ways. And some of us need more treatment, more help than others. And a lot of times it goes unnoticed and untreated. We have a lot of guys walking, and earlier we identified who the veterans are, and I appreciate that. Let's give the veterans a really well welcome home. We would not have the festivities or the opportunity to enjoy our life that we enjoy without the veterans. Thank you, Mayor, for pointing that out. I wish, and if I could convey anything that was meaningful it would be to try to educate the people that have not served our great country to remember those that have. And even though you did not serve in the military, for whatever reasons, then it's time for you to serve the military now and help them, especially the guys coming back that went and did what the government wanted us to do. You know, none of us went over there to kill anybody or to do anything that we didn't want to do. It was an order. We followed the orders. We did what we could. Once we got in combat, it was survival skills. As I said up there, I had no intention of committing suicide. You do what you have to do when you're challenged, and you do the best you can. Coming home was completely different during the Vietnam War because we were spit on. They threw cups of urine on us. They threw feces at us, dog crap, whatever they could have available to them to show disgust. How grateful a nation was that, you know? A lot of times all of us say that one person can't make a difference. Well, I'm here to tell you that one person's dead. And I say plural, one person's, because one person at a time, as we recruited them to stand up to the, who I call the sheeple, and change their opinion. And today, the kids today are benefiting from the Vietnam veterans' attitudes of changing the way the public perception is about the veterans. You know, we honor the veterans today. The pendulum has swung back towards honor. And why did it do that? Is because a few Vietnam guys said, we're not going to let this happen to our kids, what happened to us. So there is a chance to make a difference. No matter what conflict or what interest, what program you got in your community, you can make a difference. All you have to do is apply yourself and give it your all, your best. So, you know, that was a tremendous change, to change this whole perception about the military around. It didn't happen overnight, it took several years. And we've got we've got the best crop of kids serving today that we've ever had.
Amen.
You know, we had motivation to get in the military in the 60s. It was called the draft, or the avoidance thereof. Today, I stayed in because I needed the support. Let me back up and say that, you know, in combat, in the military, we have this cadre of support. We got people around us. We got friends. We got companions. We got people telling us what to do every day, you know, and correcting us when we do it wrong. Well, we had the support group. But when you get out of the military, you find yourself lost. You don't have the support. You don't have the direction, you don't have the camaraderie, you don't have anybody to talk to. You're simply out there by yourself trying to figure out what's going on. Most of us came home, and especially with the attitude that our public showed us, we turned into hermits. We didn't want to be Vietnam vets. We didn't want to be identified. We were not allowed to wear our uniform off base. Now, how stinking bad is that? They wouldn't allow us to wear a uniform in the public. Well, it was pretty sad in this country. So over the years, I've often thought, well, there ought to be something good that we could say besides what I just said tonight, because that didn't take place right away. It took us several years to overcome bad attitude in the public. I hung my hat on the fact that the medical training that we received in Vietnam was greater than any other training from any previous war. We saved more patients, more casualties, more sailors, soldiers, Marines than they had in the Korean War or the Second World War because we had better training. We actually got training that the doctors would have gotten in the First World War, you see, and possibly even in the Second. But we got better trauma training, you know, more type of training that led to survivability. why I'm saying all this is that I hang my hat on the fact that we in Salem, Missouri, any county, any state, any major city that has an ambulance service and Lifeline, everyone in our communities now have benefited from the experience and the training that we received in Vietnam. You know, you didn't have a Lifeline before Vietnam, we brought that home with us. You didn't have airway management, we brought that home. You didn't have hemorrhage control and shock, treatment for shock. You didn't have the golden hour that got you back to as close to normal as possible. In Vietnam, we had no ground ambulances, so we had to depend on the helicopters to fly to come in and get our casualties. So, what did that mean? Well, never in the history of our fights, our battles, did we not have ground support. You know, we could always call somebody and they'd come with an ambulance of some kind and haul our people off. We did not have that in Vietnam. We had to wait for the weather to change so that they could fly. Big change. That was only the medical side am I talking about now. There was a lot of changes in the jungle warfare that we fought. But I'm speaking, how did we benefit from the Vietnam War? I've always struggled with that because it's been said, why did we go? Who gave a dang? You know, did we really benefit from it? You know, we didn't take anything out of Vietnam. We've never taken anything from any enemy or adversary when we go to war. You know, we usually turn right around and build them back up. Look at Japan. They bled us to death with their dollar stores like China's doing now. But we built their economy back, and they're stronger than any other nation in Asia. You know, so as an American soldier that went to combat to defend this country, you know, we struggled. But we did it because of two reasons. One, we wanted a war. If there was going to be a war, we wanted it to happen in their country. We didn't want collateral damage here. We didn't want the Muslims to come over here and kill our women and our kids and our animals, you know, eat all our pigs. We wanted to kill them over there. We wanted to destroy their buildings. And thanks to the humor there anyway, but we wanted to do it at their cost rather than ours. And we overlooked that. Every day we live a life of freedom. The military's got a saying is that the military's at war and the public's at Walmart. It's so true. You know, it's so true that we live our day and our life in a vacuum. We don't know what's going on outside our little shell. And, you know, we don't care because it doesn't affect us. It's only when you get to see the big scheme of what's really going on in the world that you have some little appreciation for that. Now, does Salem public community give a damn? You know, probably not. Kansas City don't. You know, nobody cares unless it affects their family. We would have first of all, we would have a poor country if we didn't have the military. We would not have that country if it wasn't for the military. Every time I talk in fundraising desires and attitudes and activities, I remind the corporate sponsors, the politicians, and everybody that I'm talking to that they wouldn't have the quality of life or the ability to make the money that they make if it wasn't for the veterans, you know? So I like to think that I'm an educator and that I try to explain to the people that did not serve or could not serve or didn't want to serve how important it is to have the people that do want to serve and give credit where credit is due. Because I don't speak Japanese. And I made a mistake one time at an NRA convention. I was the guest speaker, and I thanked all the Second World War guys. And I said, you know, I don't have because of you, I don't have to speak Japanese. And as soon as I sat down, they introduced the Japanese counselor. And the newspaper came over and said, excuse my French, guys, but came over and said, "Will that embarrass you?" I said, "Hell no, we kicked their ass once, we'll do it again." I should have said but. But, see but, there you go, but. I deal with humor. I don't give it. I have PTSD, don't screw with me. Now the great thing about what I just said is when I came home from Vietnam, there was no label, so I didn't know that I had PTSD. I just figured I was screwed up, you know. Couldn't wear my uniform, and nobody cared, and as long as they were feeding me and giving me food, money, I guess I was still serving. But I stayed because I needed that. I needed that sense of purpose. I needed to help train the new kids coming in to learn the medical. I worked orthopedic and neurosurgery, and at that time it was very important to pass that lineage and that training on. And I back up today and say the reason we have 22 people killing themselves as veterans today is they've lost their sense of purpose. They don't have the support that they once had. They don't have the guidance. They don't have the motivation to get up off that couch, go do something. They've lost their sense of purpose. It's up to us as veterans to help each other. It's up to you, people that's never served, to recognize that and help the veterans. You got guys walking around that's in third space. You know, they're in their own space. We used to call it third space, but the attitude is the jargon in the military is completely different because we don't want you to understand us. We have acronyms that we don't even understand. But that's because we can't spell the word, most of the time. Can't spell it. But if I had anything to say that was meaningful, it would be to help your community become a better community. And I was impressed when I met Richard and the all-volunteers that he created. You know, this country's backbone is based on, well, we can say Christianity, but more, and that's very important in this world. But even more so, you can separate all of the different layers, and when it gets right down to human beings, it's the volunteerism that makes our country different than any other country. Because we do have volunteers. We got people that care about each other. There was no Japanese guys or German or Vietnamese guys that got their Medal of Honor because they tried to save the other guy. They get it for killing us. If you kill enough Americans, you get your awards, you see. We're the only country in the world that I know of that gives awards for saving lives. And I'm one of the few guys that got that for saving lives. I have my own opinions and I earned that. But certainly I fought for the right for you to have an opinion. I just tried to educate you to have the right one. I'm not talking Democrat or Republican here. I'm talking just the ability to have a better community. You know, the mayor was quick to point out that he was not a Democrat or Republican because he was going to piss off 50% of the people if he identified who he saw, which side he was on. Excuse my French again. But the higher up, they have to identify which side they're on, and of course that's murder in first degree in some counties, I would think. This has always been a Democratic county down here, hasn't it? Pretty much? Always Democrats? No? Republicans? No? Well, you better damn well be a Republican now. And why I say that is that we have a commander-in-chief that needs support. I don't care which side of the fence you're on. He needs our support. I supported Obama and hated every minute of it. But I never said I was going to cut his head off and burn the White House down. I knew the watermelon patch was going to be all right. This is camera, didn't it? I thought, who sees this movie anyway?
They're playing at church tomorrow.
Okay.
Church.
In any case, as Richard said, I deal with my stress level with humor. I don't care if you laugh. I did that for myself. And if you can laugh along with me, then I'm happy for you. But I said that because it makes me laugh. Has anybody got any questions? I had never met a Medal of Honor recipient until I became one. The oldest one I met was 100 years old, and he fought in the Boxer Rebellion. He actually fought in the Spanish-American War, but he got the medal for Boxer Rebellion. He shook my hand. His name was William Seach, a Navy guy. And he said, "Son, you have shaken the hand of a man that shook Abraham Lincoln's hand."
Think about that.
Think about how old we are in the scheme of history. Not very, very old, are we? Not very old. And everybody's fighting to get in this country. Not too many of us are fighting to get out. The wrong person gets elected and everybody wants to leave. Well, I haven't seen a damn one of them leave yet. Yeah, you've got 5 fingers there, yes.
One thumb. Doc, I've been curious about this. And by the way, the day that Doc was cited and awarded the medal was the day I enlisted in the Army, 16 May 1968. I'm not saying that means anything, it's just very peculiar to me. But something I wondered about. You was a kid back then, I said a kid, pretty much. How has this affected the way you've lived your life over these last 30 years since then?
Well, it's been over 50 years.
Okay, it's your story.
I went to a different school than you did, yeah. Got even. Okay. I don't know who Don Ballard would have been without the medal, you see, because I was wanting to be a dentist, which changed my whole attitude after I got in and decided I really didn't want to do that. I don't know what I would have done. I feel like it's harder to wear this medal than it is to earn it. You know, for one day in my life, I did something questionable, you know, as far as common sense and whether, you know, I displayed my love for the people that I served with. They had saved I was wounded 8 times myself. They had saved my life. It was my turn to pay it back. I didn't think clearly enough to make a decision as to what the outcome would have been. I reacted to the situation at hand, and my patients that were laying there couldn't do anything for themselves. A grenade come in here, it'd kill all of us. So most people run away from the danger. Some people run towards it.